Welcome to Deep Dive Daily.
Good morning, Andy. Welcome to Deep Dive Daily, sponsored by Circa Contests. Be sure to go to Nevada to sign up in person for your millions or your survivor entries, where the guaranteed prize pools are the biggest in all of sports. And I got to tell you, the NFL contests, if you have never played, you will have a thrilling time. It is pretty much your only way, in my opinion, to get a seven-figure score betting the NFL. And so for those reasons, I will play them until the day I die. And we will be talking about them all throughout the month of July and August as we do our NFL previews, as they are the official sponsor of the NFL previews for the Deep Dive.
Crazy how it's coming up. There's a Hall of Fame game not that far out, guys. We have I jokingly brought it up. It is in late July, yes. Oof. Yeah, still a slow sports week. I will say I don't know that the Lynx cared about repeating as Commissioner's Cup champions.
It was worth a lot of money. I was kind of surprised.
I know, it was like weird because you could make some cash, but boy, that was a low effort game from them. As like once Clark was ruled out, it shot up to like 10.5. Yeah. And they played very good for a quarter of basketball and then just kind of went to shit. Although it's weird. I'm gonna have to look at the on-off splits. Is Caitlin Clark holding back I almost said Pacers?
Yeah, the Fever.
They do play really well, and she's.
I just want to know, like, couldn't gut it out. Like, how does this affect her legacy? Like, she didn't play in the Commissioner's Cup.
Are you hurt or are you injured, Caitlin?
Yeah. And even more than that, like, is she really going to keep the prize money? Like, she doesn't need the money. Like, she should give the prize money to her teammates who actually won the cup, right?
Yeah, that is kind of fun because, like, she's the one on the team with the huge endorsements.
Yeah.
Everybody else is making $62K.
I haven't heard anything about this yet. Oh, yeah. Next on First Take. Yeah. All right. In seriousness, I have no comment on the WNBA at this point, and I have no idea how to handicap the Fever. I thought the Fever were going to walk, dog walk the Sparks last week. They lost outright, and then yesterday they went at 10.
There's been a rash of that, Drew. There's been a ton of 8 to 12 point dogs winning straight up. The WNBA has these stretches where it just up is down, left is right kind of stuff. I didn't watch you know what we had on the TV instead, because I was baffled that the kids hadn't seen it. We started it the other night, but it was way too late to like finish the movie of this length. So instead of watching the Commissioner's Cup, we had the final 2/3 of The Sound of Music. Kids hadn't seen it, and they're like, "Well, can we finish that?" I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I'm not going to watch. I want to watch tonight. That's fine. There's no golf on. It's whatever.
The Sound of Music continues its rich history of preempting live sports that matter.
But I do one take on that before we move to real sports. Yeah. Everyone's seen the movie probably multiple times. It's a classic. By the way, Julie Andrews is kind of adorable. Movie 60 years old, though she's much older now. So there's the song at the beginning where the nuns are like, how do you solve a problem like Maria? Because they're flabbergasted with her. They do a reprise of this song at her wedding, which is the most. I'd never thought of this because I haven't seen this movie in 10 years. It's kind of fucked up. They literally use the word clown. She's a clown. And they're all singing this as she's walking down the aisle. It is one of the most disrespectful moves that I just didn't ever think of before. And I'm going to let you stew on that for a while, and we'll get on to tennis and golf.
Okay. Corey Herbert says, soft one last night. It was solid. I bring this up mostly because I knew a Corey Herbert back in the day when I was a youth in Washington, D.C. I wonder if it's the same Corey Herbert. Corey, if you grew up in like the Waynewood area of Northern Virginia, shoot me a note.
This is like that Ravel tweet of that girl from the pool. You remember when Ravel tweeted him and like this little girl at the pool when he was a little kid? It's like, I wonder what happened to this girl. And everyone's like, this is the creepiest tweet you've ever sent, dude. Yours is fine. This is organic. His is just out of the blue. Oh.
All right. So you said upsets are in the air. in the WNBA. Upsets were certainly in the air in Wimbledon yesterday.
Dude, Jesus Christ.
My goodness. A million seeds have been knocked out of the tournament, although to start the day today, we have reverted to form where the chalk is coming in for the most part. Maybe with a couple small exceptions. But Coco Gauff losing was a shocker, but not really. Really good.
Ystremska can play at that level.
Yeah, she was probably the toughest single opponent that was unseeded, I think. And Gauff obviously was not. It was a tough turnaround for her after winning the French Open. And oh, by the way, like, the reason she won the French Open specifically was her return game was incredible and her serve game was very vulnerable. And when you step on the grass, like, you're kind of in trouble if you're really, really relying on your return. So ultimately she got run off the court. The bigger surprise, Jessica Pegula completely run off the court. I got a chance to watch that one. And I was like, wow, this was not expected. So funny enough though, Andy, all the bets that I have pre-flop, my own calculated expected win numbers have not moved very much, even with all the upsets, because they happen in areas of the draw where either I was like, yeah, those are weak favorites, or my particular runners still have to go through very, very difficult tests before they get to the promised land. So I'm not really sitting any better today than I was pre-tournament, despite this, the fact that like 25 seeds have been ousted. So go figure. The general kind of vibe at Wimbledon is still like, we're not going to know much about who wins the women's tournament until late next week. And we're not going to know who wins the men's tournament until about noon Eastern on July 13th during the final. So not a lot of clarity yet.
The whole time I was barely listening because all I can think of is the Ystremska tweet after the George Floyd stuff.
I don't remember that one.
Do you remember she painted half of her face black?
Oh no, I don't.
And she did it was just like posted equality. She did like half blackface. Do you not remember this?
No, I don't.
Oh my god, you gotta find that tweet, buddy.
Diana Ystremska has so many absurd social media experiences. I just have lost track, but I did not remember that one. Oof.
She got banned from tennis for a little bit too, didn't she have a doping thing?
Let's hit a couple. I think she did. Let's hit a couple of. Was that her?
Yes.
Now I'm drunk.
It's been plenty of girls.
All right. Let's hit a couple of Diana Ystremska, deep run at the Australian Open last year, 2024. Mm-hmm. So she's done it on grass before. And honestly, now that she's taken over Coco's little section, like, no reason she can't win that section. There's basically you could pick any runner and of those 8 women, and one of them is going to get to the quarterfinal. I have no clue. Anyway,
one of them will get to the quarterfinal. You are correct.
Yeah,
that's how brackets work.
The math will. It is impossible for that to happen. To anything else to happen. All right. Tour de France starts next week. We're not going to get to touch on it until we get to actual riding is happening. I'm into Tadej Pogačar to win. You can get on board at any point in time. It's going to be a minus 250. It's going to be a while before like the rubber meets the road for the yellow jersey, because they start with a bunch of flat and medium, kind of hilly stages in northern France. They're going Lille to like Normandy, Brittany area. So it's going to be a while before they really have any separation at the top. So there's no rush to get any Pogačar now. You can bet at your leisure or wait and see what their form looks like and then decide. But his power numbers in the Dauphine criterion relative to what Vindigo was doing was like men versus boys. Pogačar's 20 minutes of just absolute insanity on his mountain climb in that criterion was enough for me to be like, yeah, he's just winning this. On the green jersey, maybe, which was a little more interesting, we have a first time ever rider in the Tour de France, and Jonathan Milan is the favorite. Excuse me. It would be a little bit unheard of for him to
correct me if I'm wrong though. It is not his first bicycle race ever.
It is not his first bicycle race. No. So he is a former Giro d'Italia point classification winner.
Okay.
And so he's done a Grand Tour. He has a very good team, but having never ridden the Tour de France and seeing him as the favorite was stunning to me. So I think he's a bet against. Ultimately, I could end up eating my words here. Trek Lytle Trek, whatever their team name is, might just be that good. But
isn't Giro Italia even hillier?
No.
I thought that was even more of the Alps.
The Tour de France is much tougher. The Giro d'Italia might be quote unquote hillier. It might be hillier, but like that's like it might have more intermediate stages and fewer flat stages.
Because I would think
it doesn't have anywhere close to the same mountain stages.
Yeah, I don't know because I've never done international bike riding, but you would think it's like riding a bike, man.
You would think, but like riding a bike for a very long time, for a lot of days in a row, as fast as you can for a lot of days in a row. Yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten my bike ever as fast. I don't think I've gotten an electric bike ever as fast as the average speed on a normal flat stage that these guys ride at. They're going.
I got like a cat's eye thing for a bike I had.
Yeah,
and I was going down not a big hill but a medium hill. I was going like 35 and I remember I'm like,
you're hanging with the peloton.
I'm afraid. I remember thinking like this is too fast for me. Like, because it was going through like a park. I'm like, if I hit a fucking stick or a squirrel, I'm gonna get badly injured.
That's
crazy how fast they're going down the hill.
Yeah, you get.
And I mean, this is me
get that feeling on skis too.
Wild down a hill.
Yeah. So yeah, Tour de France for me. I'm going to take a swing on Bidem Girmay, who is last year's winner. He's just he's just a fast, awesome sprinter, and kind of has a nose for the line. Like he can get these stage wins and get enough points to be in consideration. His price is like 11-1, so I took some him, and I took some Jasper Philipsen. Even though our friends in the Discord have correctly pointed out he's a little out of form, and there's a little bit of uncertainty of what's going on with the Alpecin team because his lead out man that got him the green jersey 2 years ago was Matthew van der Poel. And apparently there's not consensus that Philipsen is just going to be the guy that they feature to try to win the green jersey. They may feature van der Poel. And if Philipsen is asked to be the lead out man for van der Poel, I don't know that I see that working. And then van der Poel is not just being a good soldier and leading out Philipsen, then I don't see him winning either. So Alpecin might actually be a toss, which is very, very tough for me to wrap my head around. But things are not clear in focus there. So Bidem Girmay 11-1. If you can find some Philipsen at 4-1 and 5-1, I think it's worth playing. But I think it's gotten a lot shorter.
I think ultimately this is Philipsen
versus Girmay. I believe Sunday they depart. The Grand Depart, I believe, is Sunday in Lille, but don't hold me to that.
Okay. Yeah, and anyone who missed yesterday's talk, no podcast tomorrow or Friday as we're taking a long weekend. Mm-hmm. And then we are switching. We're getting rid of this time slot for the most part, as we will be doing an hour-long podcast every afternoon next week, Monday through Thursday, going through NFL previews. We will still bring back Fuck Around Fridays because we won't do a preview on Friday. So it'll be this time, your normal 10:30 Eastern. We'll do a half hour of talking food, wine, drinks, sports, probably longer just because we'll have a lot of built up for the week, especially as we get closer to NFL starting, as we have, Women's World Cup is going. The afternoon, it'll be 3 Eastern is the time that the afternoon live show will be on. I will make an effort. I don't see a reason not to. So I'm going to just upload the podcast immediately afterwards. So like 4 or 5 Eastern, worst case, podcast form should be up if you're unable to join live or you hate to look at our stupid faces.
We are going to
gardening while you're doing it.
We are going to hold ourselves to an hour. Like when there is a 5 minutes warning, we are wrapping it up. Final power numbers. Final thoughts.
Famous last words. We should see this.
I think it'll last at least an episode because we're starting with a team that I'm going to have a tough time filling an hour.
Yeah.
So, with that,
no spoilers on that. I think we're not announcing what team.
Correction and retraction. The Grand Depart is Saturday in Lille. Benim Girmay stage 1 is 23-1. See, the stage winner, that's crazy to me. That's absolutely.
That's something I think our friend Vinny would always do really well with that. If you guys aren't familiar with Vinny, tennis better, but he dabbles in other sports and definitely bicycling sports for sure. And he would have some really sick numbers on like individual stage, and the guy would go like 1 for 15 during the thing, but it would be like a 40-1.
Yeah,
and he'd find one that would
getting stage winners correct in the Tour de France is throwing darts.
It's hard, but he'd find some value prices, and you hit 1 or 2, and you make
a million years ago. I played the first time I bet the Tour de France back on 5 dimes. I got Mark Cavendish to win stage 1 at like 18 or 20-1, and he won. And I was like, I'm just a genius at this. I know it. I think that was the last stage winner I got correct.
Am I a savant?
That was the last time I got one right. So
I know
I like that. I like that look on Benim Girmay.
I had so many good winners like my first year of golf betting. I remember like questioning it. It's like, is this my calling? Is this? And then you go through like a 4-month stretch where you can't find anything, and you're like, oh no, it's just it's random.
Couple random thoughts. Is this the Diddy trial verdict breakdown? I didn't know we had a verdict. I'm gonna have to.
We do. Acquitted of the nasty stuff. He's guilty on transporting prostitutes, which is a crime.
Okay.
But like the racketeering, he got off on.
Okay.
It's kind of the assumption.
AJ asks, Danny, catch any of the Bet the Board hanging up the mics? Thought they touched on some interesting topics for the gambling content space at large in their last episode. I kind of lost touch with these guys over the last couple of years in terms of listening to their content. I have like strangely no real personal relationship at all with Todd or Payne. And honestly, like a lot of listening to Payne talk about the groups he's working with and the kind of the bombast that he would kind of purport never really checked out to me. So I don't really, I kind of they were just wildly off my radar. And I went and listened to that final episode, and I was like, I was completely, kind of like they were talking a different language about a lot of stuff. So I have to think about it some more. I
saw the tweet. And the tweet gave away the lead that they're hanging it up. And I said, well, maybe I'll listen to this. Maybe I won't. And then I saw it was an hour. I'm like, well, now I won't.
Yeah. But like, I
might get a chance this weekend, but I didn't have time for that.
I don't have like much of a take here, but some of the dollars that they were kind of implying it used to exist. Okay, fine. Maybe that might be true. I don't have any reason to dispute that. The dollars not being anywhere close to that now, I know for sure is true. And the value of like the deals between the likes of the DraftKings and the NBCs for NBA kind of being the featured odds provider or whatever or featured betting partner for the NBA on NBC, like that number is not close to whatever they were implying used to exist for deals. So I was a little like, I was a little confused, I will say, about they're painting the picture of what the financial situation used to look like. And honestly, with other people kind of behind the scenes saying that things have not been going well for their best bets, I wonder if this was just, it wasn't fun for them anymore. And that's why they decided to hang it up as opposed to actually whatever the financial side of it is. Because
I will
obviously
say that
like,
too.
yeah, good.
Well, I mean, we both said that when we were talking earlier, like, that is maybe the worst part of a downturn is when you're getting kicked in the teeth because you're having everybody has downturns. Everybody has cold stretches. It's worse. So when people are shitting on you on Twitter about it too, because you're publicly facing with it. It's like, hey, sorry, I don't enjoy this either. I have less money than I did 2 months ago. That sucks for me also.
Yeah.
That's the part I wonder about too, is just, that can be a little grating after many years.
Yeah. I would also say that like if you have a podcast that has, whatever numbers whatever numbers you're getting, like that, influence is still power, even if you're not getting directly compensated for it. So there was a lot that just really went over my head or just didn't register with my reality of what this is and what the space is. And obviously we're doing this for very different reasons than them. So, I don't really have much else to say. I did find it wildly hilarious, though, the way that they kind of self-characterized their coming up with the first half under in football. Like that was I had to pause and stop myself from laughing. Like that was really something else. God's gift to gambling. They invented the first half under, Andy. Okay. That's all I have to say about that. Because this is effectively a fuck around Friday, we're going to talk a little weekend plans, wine of the week. Reason I can't record tomorrow is I'm flying up to Santa Rosa. So I'll be up in wine country, Sonoma Coast for me this weekend, doing a little Napa, little Sonoma, and on the day of the 4th of July, a little floating on the Russian River. I got my my river blazer and my portable inflator to sit on the river all day and get some sun, drink some beverages. Cannot wait. The wine of the weekend is going to be Iron Horse Sparkling. So in honor of America and 4th of July and America's birthday, the best American sparkling and going toe to toe with any French champagne in the same price point is Iron Horse. Iron Horse from Sonoma County, Green Valley, does a broad array of really, really good sparkling wines. I would put Schramsberg in the conversation with best sparkling for California as well. Obviously, they're like 1A, 1B. But Iron Horse makes a huge swath of very good, high, like elite class sparkling wines, and their wine tasting experience also freaking awesome. They set you up at this, great bar in the shade, view across the Green Valley. You can see over to the Mount St. Helena, and it is outstanding. All weather there is always beautiful, and I like their Pinot Noir personally. Like this, it's the perfect place to take your wife for wine tasting, especially if she likes sparkling wine and you like Pinot Noir, because they make elite Pinot Noir and they make elite sparkling.
I was gonna say,
set her up with sparkling taste, and you sit there and have the Pinot tasting flight. And and the people
that's
what
I did up in Napa. What's the place in Napa proper that's famous for their sparkling? It's really nice. It's up on the hill. I can't think of the name of it now. Very nice property. But we go there and it's like flights of sparkling wine for the tasting. And I'm like, oh, hey, they do have one that doesn't have sparkling. I just couldn't do it. I don't care for sparkling wine that much. I can have champagne, one glass, a celebration of New Year's or something like that. But I can't sit and drink more than one glass of anything sparkling.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the place in Napa that it was funny because there's other people at the tastings too. And everybody had these flights of sparkling, and I'm sitting there just drinking reds.
I'm wondering now which this one could be. Anyway, Iron Horse, absolutely awesome. Very much loved it. And it is actually it's a common first stop because it's close to the Santa Rosa airport. So we go there pretty much every time we go to wine country and have a great experience. So that is what I'm most looking forward to, as always. And Pinot Noir is going to be mostly the focus of my tasting and wine procurement here. Going to do a lot of the Russian River Valley, which is, in my mind, a little overpriced. Like it's at the top of the price point range for American Pinot, and it's excellent. Don't get me wrong, but it's a little bit of a splurge. If you were looking for good California Pinot in the Sonoma County area, you want to be on the west side of the Russian River. And the closer to the hillside, the better. The higher up, the more interesting, in my opinion. And in general, you were looking for labels like William Sullivan.
It's funny, I'm just going to spam call from California. Domaine Carneros.
Oh, yes.
Dominique Carneros?
Domaine Carneros. They only make sparkling. That French is it's a beautiful French chateau. Beautiful French chateau.
The property was gorgeous.
Yeah.
They did have some non-sparkling for me.
Yeah. You know why you threw me is because Carneros is not technically Napa. So that's okay.
Yeah,
that's
it did feel like it was kind of out in the country. You're right.
You're crossing over.
It's on the Sonoma Highway. Yeah,
it's on the Sonoma Highway. But yeah, that is a fun. If you're with a group, if you're with a mixed, if you're in mixed company and the ladies like sparkling, Domaine Carneros is a must take.
There's a photo of me. I should find this tweet where my wife tricked me into putting a hat on because I looked like Paddington Bear with my coat. That was at that place while we were waiting for. It was a gorgeous area.
I love it. Well, yeah. I'll give you the full report on the Russian River Pinot and their latest vintage when I get back. But I'm going to be kind of cruising up and down the west side and looking for Russian River highlights that I can stock my shelves with. I'm
going to play golf, watch golf, grill, drink. Actually, you know what? We had, beanbag boards, cornhole, what have you.
Of course, yeah.
The cornhole bags we had were filled with dried corn. Left out in the garage, mice ate it.
Oh, no.
Mice went right through the fucking bags, ate them. So we have the boards and no bags. So I'm like, God, it'd be fun to do outdoor stuff like that. So
yeah,
I get online from Shields and I order some, and then it's like, hey, do you want bocce balls too? These are I'm like, I should get a bocce set.
Oh yeah.
And then I ordered the other thing I ordered because I saw this online. I saw like a quick, TikTok or something, but it's the 9-hole bucket golf thing. Have you seen this? Where you can make the holes wherever you want. You set the bucket, you set the start. So I got that. It's all coming today.
Oh,
I might honestly leave at noon if I see my deliveries there.
Dude, this sounds fun.
Bucket golf.
This sounds fun.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be Yard Olympics.
Agrees.
I mean, it looks like the weather's gonna be pretty good. So Yard Olympics while we're grilling and drinks, and I put in an Instacart order to pick up that is basically meat plus popsicles and creamsicles and ice cream sickles.
Nice.
It's gonna be hot.
I'm psyched, man. You know what? This is a good opportunity for you to teach your son about skins. Do a little
money.
Popsicle gambling.
He's sitting on some cash because he's saving up. Any cash he's gotten, he's saving up for a Nintendo Switch 2. So he's got a big envelope of cash upstairs. I might try to take some of that off him.
Oh yeah.
I haven't looked at the hot dog stuff yet. Yes, I will tweet out anything I have. The weather looks warm. I do lean under. Just with, I'm sure Chestnut has been training his normal regimen, but without doing it last year and what looks to be pretty hot, I think the number's probably 1 or 2 dogs high.
Chestnut's under 72.5 is minus 179, Andy. It's been hit. Is that a smash?
I don't know if it's a smash, but I think if I had to go one way or the other, Chestnut wins.
You want to know something funny? They're taking 5x hot dog props steak relative to the Tour de France steak on Bookmaker.
Well, people want what they want.
They want what they want.
Ooh, you know what? That's another good addition to the yard games. Maybe there is a Molitor family hot dog eating contest. If nothing else, but to take some photos of my wife that she will hate.
Yes.
I will watch a little golf. If you get the golf newsletter or follow me on Twitter, I put my plays out there. I can't remember them all. Yeah. But boy, it would be Carson Young. It'd be awful cool if we got 150 to 1 back-to-back weeks. That would help make up for the last
Carson
Young,
Victor
Perez.
Victor Perez. This is John Deere Classic, right?
Yeah, Jackson Suber would be nice.
Okay, I'm gonna take some flyers and so I know who to cheer for. All right, good deal. All right, well, should we call it?
Yeah, I don't know. That's it.
My goodness gracious.
Alcaraz playing better against
Did you see
Oliver Tarvett?
Did you see the quotes by Oliver Tarvett? He was asked basically like, do you how do you feel about going up against Alcaraz? And he was like, oh, I could beat anyone right now.
Yeah!
World number 733. Best of luck, buddy.
I love the confidence, though.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. You're no Fabio Fanini. Sorry, Oliver Tarvett.
Nobody is. Fine. Fanini, Gale, Penko. Tennis have so many one-of-a-kinders.
Love it. All right. Well, enjoy the Wimbledon. Enjoy the golf. Enjoy your 4th of July. Have a cold beverage.
See you Monday night.
Be enjoying them, and we'll see you Monday for True Blue Football Handicapping.
Big Blue.
Big Blue Football Handicapping.
Oh!